Welcome to the brand new Night Owls podcast. You're going to find all sorts here, and we're starting pretty much where we finished off with the best of the last 4 weeks on air. We're going to put out one podcast a week, so help us out and subscribe wherever you listen. This is episode 2, taken from the on-air show on the 10th of April, 2022. Welcome, everybody. Hello, Alan Robson with you on the Night Owls. Where else would I be? As you know, we are 3 shows away from the glorious finale of Night Owls. So pick up your telephone, give us a call right now. We've got an awful lot to talk about. Now, of course, we're going to share with you just some of your best bits over the next few shows. However, we also want you to cogitate, it is allowed, about the dumbest thing you've ever done. And also, if you have done something dumb, what was it that you did to put it right? Were you able to rescue it? It's kind of like that thing, you know, when you trip over a curb that there's nothing there, but you still trip over it, and you do that little run, you pretend you're running instead of like looking like an idiot. I want to know what dumb stuff you've done and how you put it right. Or just tell me the dumb stuff. I'll be quite happy with that. A lot to talk about, including the stuff that you've got up to over the years. And if we can find anybody who's got a bus, it would be an absolute miracle. And I know I'm asking a lot, and I know it's an expensive commodity, and I'm asking it because they don't have the money. We would just love it if somebody somewhere could... Oh, hang on a second. I'm being waved at by Nicola next door. Hang on, let's just... quickly go across there. Nicola, what's up? What's happened?
Yeah, we've had Gary on from Nightingale's Coaches at Anfield Plain, who has donated free transport.
What?
He's got coaches and wheelchair accessible vans as well.
Gary, thank you so much, mate. Honestly, it will rock their world. Thank you so much. How great is that? And you guys never let anybody down, but sometimes you don't have to be persuaded to call in. This guy called in for the first time after 32 years.
It was fantastic seeing somebody after 32 years.
Unbelievable.
And he says to us, it was only yesterday, he said, do you remember when you wanted to go on Night Owls, so we took you up and you sat in for the show and you met the Flash and Blade, and you come back with all these stories about a woman called Catherine who was on the switchboard. Nah. And he says, did you ever ring the show? And I says, nah. I says, I was always trying to ring in and do win competitions, but I never had the guts to do it. Right, he says, I dare you. And I says, well, where's he now? And he says, he's still doing it. Of
course.
I says, never. So I came...
I'm just doing it better now.
But I was just lying in bed there and I thought, 32 years later, will I just listen?
And we're so glad that you do. And don't forget, we will be on to greater things, as you know. But sometimes on Night Owls, things go in a direction that we would never expect, and nor would we ever want. But your dad was a child abuser and a sexual assaulter and a predator who preyed on young people, you included. He's dead. He was a scumbag. He's now a dead scumbag. And I can understand you having a jumble of emotions. But on behalf of everybody else, we're glad that our children aren't at risk anymore.
Well, that's nice.
I'm not sure it's nice.
Well...
But it's honest.
It's honest and it's positive.
Keep your chin up, darling. You'll get through it. You got to start again now. Yes, there's a vacuum. That vacuum, instead of being filled with something unpleasant, nasty, I wonder when he's going to get out eventually.
Yeah.
That's never going to happen.
No, not now.
And then, of course, there is the cavalry that is the Night Owls.
I've took one, and I'm not stopping, because I don't want to face reality anymore. You phoned somebody now. I know.
I haven't phoned anybody. I'm sitting here talking to you right now.
Yeah.
I want you to stop doing anything negative. And why can't you?
It's too late, Alan, man.
It's not. It's never too late. It's never too late.
Too late for me.
It's not.
It's too late for me to try and put things right with my family. I know it is.
Right.
To put things right with everybody, not just family, everybody.
Right.
I've let everybody down, so I might as well just, you know.
But you're too precious for that. People love you.
I wish I was.
There's people here that's sending texts crying because they love you so much and they don't want you to hurt yourself.
Alan, it's too late. I'm doing it.
Don't even think about it. Don't think about it. Don't think about
Alan,
it. Do not do
Alan,
it. Don't do
You're
it.
too late. Alan.
Don't do it.
You're too late. Alan, you're too late. I'm sorry, but you're too late. I'm sorry, Alan. I didn't mean to let you down, but it's too late.
Don't let me down then. You got a choice. You got a choice. You don't have to let me down.
Alan.
You don't have to let me down.
I'm sorry, Alan. I'm very sorry. But most of all, I'm sorry to my family. I'm sorry for letting them down.
You haven't let anybody down. You
haven't let anybody.
You haven't let anybody down except yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the worst person to hurt. Because you're already hurting enough. Why hurt yourself more?
I'm hurting inside, and people don't realise that. I've been hurting inside for years and years and years. But nobody's ever listened, so why should I listen to them?
Well, you shouldn't listen to them. You should listen to people who care for you, like me.
Alan, I'm telling you what, I'm doing it. Sorry.
Well, why did you ring me? Why did you?
I'm not getting in.
Why did you call? Who can't get in?
They're not getting in your mind.
Who can't get in? Who are you talking about?
You phoned somebody, but it's too late, Alan. I've took them.
Has your family arrived, have they?
No, you phoned somebody, I know you have.
I haven't. I've been sitting here talking to you for the last half hour.
You phoned somebody, I know you have. Alan, I'm sorry, but it's too late. I've took them. Who is it? It's the police, isn't it? Who is it?
Right, they're there. We're going to leave it there for the time being. And it wasn't too late. He's still with us. 01914 488 3188. What are you going to be talking about tonight? Maybe you got a poem about night owls. You never know.
Sunday to Thursday, my nights are all sorted. Got my coffee on and range of biscuits all sorted. Night owls on and ready to listen. All callers have passed over or some are just missing. What night brings, we will never know. Most callers are friends or some deliberate foe. Tucked up in bed or on night shift, we rely on it to give us a lift. What other show offers you? Sing your la-la-las for people to listen. But when you hang up, you just think you glisten. Long may it continue, and just remember, nothing rhymes with orange.
And night owls do have a habit of telling me absolutely everything. Do you still have your nipples in a box?
Yes, I can't find them, but you see, I've got a little cupboard under me stairs, and it's me joke cupboard, so I would have to get everything else to find them.
So your nipples is in the cupboard under the stairs?
Yes.
Excellent, as long as we know. Now, people going through tough things, and that's what you guys do, and when I go through bad times, you're with me, and vice versa. And I heard a call about somebody who had a stroke, and what a call.
This is how great this show is. When she was in the hospital, and she had just come around from having a stroke, and the first thing she says to us, "What happened to that lass on Night Owls?"
That's sweet. How about that? She has a stroke in the middle of a special, and the first thing she says when the nurse wakes her up is, "What happened to that lass in the ghost hunt?" Brilliant. Really funny.
In the ghost hunt, she had a stroke, just finished actually. And,
what a shame.
And as I say, the nurse said to us, well, she says, "There's proof there's nothing wrong with her brain."
And some of your earliest memories.
My mum absolutely loved you, and she used to come on the show all the time when I was a bed.
That's great.
And when I was when I was driving back, I heard you say about your earliest memories of sweets and everything. It got me thinking. Not my earliest memory of sweets, but one of my earliest memories was actually meeting you in Metroland when I was about, I want to say 5 or 6, and my mum was there, and I had a signed Night Owls little poster thing.
How about that? And of course, you lot coming to the rescue is nothing rare.
What exactly is the problem with this lady?
I think it's something to do, I'm not quite sure, I think it's some blood disorder or something.
Blood disorder, but essentially, if she doesn't get a wheelchair, she's stuck in the house.
I got a phone call from Michelle last night, and we got one.
Wonderful.
And I just want to say a big, big thank you on behalf of this lady to John and his wife in Leamington. I went up and picked it up tonight.
Fantastic.
And this guy himself has obviously got health problems.
Yes.
But he's got a big enough heart to think of other people.
Yeah, he's a good man, John.
And we got the wheelchair. He didn't want anything for it, so I took a bunch of flowers up for his wife.
Ah, that's nice.
And I took 3 lucky dips up in the hope that the win. I said, I hope he's a millionaire by Saturday.
Yeah, he'll be in Hawaii by Sunday. If that's the case, he'll be away.
Well, when I said that, he was still thinking of somebody else, because he said, well, if I do that, if I become a millionaire, he said, I'll be back on the Night House and I'll buy this lady an electric wheelchair.
Oh, wow. Well, there you go. Everybody wins.
Yeah, they're lovely people.
Yeah,
and
they're good
I just
folk.
want to say a big thank you to them. And that when this wheelchair is finished with, we will get it back to Night House.
And we'll recycle it. Absolutely.
From it.
Happy to do that.
A big thank you to Night House and a big thank you to John and his wife.
I think you should be on the New Year's Honours list, actually.
Well, it's lovely of you to say so. Thank you, John.
On the programme, you saw the highs, you saw the lows, and you do have a very, very hard job, I think. You've got to deal with so many people and so many different situations. And I can remember all the years of listening to Night Owls, how you've dealt with them, and you do a tremendous job.
Well, as I say, nice of you to say, John. Thank you.
When I watched you tonight, and I'm sure thousands and thousands of other people did, we saw you at your true self, and it was fantastic to watch.
Now, if you listen to the show, you deserve a stiff drink, frankly, and it's exactly what some of you do.
It'd just be quite good listening in the house, listening to the radio again. Just brings back good memories from when I was a little bit younger, and listening to you and falling asleep with a ghetto blaster next to me and stuff like that. It's just been great. It's actually nice to talk to you. Thank you for...
I know, thanks for coming back. Richard, what have you been doing down there in Wales then?
Just working hard, to be quite honest. Just nice to hear you're still going, mate. You still sound the same, exactly the same. I used to live in a children's home, to be honest, and the members of the staff used to, obviously, used to get up in the morning. How did you fall asleep, Richard, with that ghetto blaster next to you? Yeah, but nobody's going to celebrate talking to you. I've got no idea. I used to listen to you when I was about 12, 13, 14, going up. Every night, man. Thank you so much for letting me come through and speak to you, mate.
Top job.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good night, my friend.
Yeah, have a whiskey. Deserves it. And we're just the last clip for now, because we want you talking live on 01914 488 3188. Night Owls wouldn't be Night Owls. Yes, there's lots of cool stuff for people getting help and what have you. It's just you never know what you're going to get. Like the man who decided to do DIY testicle surgery on himself.
She was trying to cut the stitch.
Oh, my goodness.
Me right one. Well, of course, and it just didn't work because the hairs were growing back. Because beforehand I was shaved.
Sure.
And then the hairs were growing back. So she says, and I was hitting the ceiling by then. She says, I just can't do this. The young girl who was a practice nurse was beside herself, right? Yeah. I said, so what am I going to do? She says, you'll have to take warm baths and just try and prise the right one between your two thumbs. And to get the stitch out. And then after about a week or so of these warm baths, it eventually happened. And then I put the stitch in a little sample bottle. When I went back to work, I showed everybody at work, So it was something to go through that,
But blimey, you shouldn't have had to do your own surgery at the end.
Well, they couldn't do it with a scalpel. You know what I mean?
There you go. Pick up your telephone, give us a ring. 01914 488 3188. Louise starts us off. She is in South Shields. Hello, Louise.
Hi, Alan. I've looked forward to this all week.
Hooray! Well, thank you very much. What are you talking about then, Lou?
It's just about the Night Owls memories of when I was growing up, listening to you all the way through my life.
Right, that's great. How did it first begin for you then?
Well, it was about the I'm the girl whose mum's waters broke, and through listening to you, it's that girl again.
That's great.
So basically, it's just been a case of you've always been on a night time, even through like the school years. You were always on in the background. Just the voice of the North, basically. You know.
Thank you.
I remember I used to lie there and listen to the Blade Runner Super Quiz, and I used to be sitting there going, right, what's the answer? I know this. Knowing full well I had school the next day, but I'm just sitting up listening and answering the questions, and I think I just totally enjoyed that. I will miss that. I have missed things like that.
Sure.
And there was also the banter that you had with Wayne. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, special. It's very rare you get a chemistry like that. Wayne's a superstar, and what we're going to do over the next couple of weeks, we're going to dig out some of the highlights of that as well. So make sure you listen to the last two, and we'll
I'll definitely be listening to that.
Excellent.
Yeah, I you know, Alan, I always listen to you, so you know, I am out there.
That's great. Thank you.
There's lots of my family who listen. I mean, my dad's just been saying he's going up to listen now, and that's him going to bed. And I've talked my mum into listen. She's busy watching a film or something like that, but she's going to listen. I says, I'm on tonight, so you've got to listen, you know. So
that's the good thing. That's the joy of it, though. The joy is that it's not just something you listen to; it's something you're on. You know, that's that's the thing. Yeah.
Well, that's another thing. Obviously, when I was younger, I used to think, one day I might end up on the show, and it's taken us about 30 odd years, and here I am. I'm on the show. So I'm really, really pleased I have, and obviously with you now sort of finishing it, I'm pleased I have had a chance to take part in it. So it's been really good.
Well,
I've really enjoyed coming on and talking to you.
Well, we're finishing this part of it, but in the fullness of time, we'll be talking again, and just in a different place, in a different way.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
how it's going to be. So we'll be
It's all
back.
part of the journey. It's all part of the journey, Alan.
It is precisely that. It's not necessarily the good bit, but it's a bit of it. That's true. So here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we've all got a journey that we'll follow. So Night Owls is doing the exact same thing. So it's all good, isn't it?
Absolutely. Hey, well, thank you, Louise. Bless you, darling.
No problem. Thanks,
Alan.
For
calling. Take care. Bye-bye. Want to say a big thank you to a variety of people. Now, this is kind of typical of Night Owls. First of all, I get made, and I mean made, an amazing kind of punk hat here with the Green Man on it. How pagan do you get? I actually sent in this fabulous hat, and a card came with it with a silver little charm attached, and it says, "Hi Alan, I hope you like the hat. I love making them, and I'm inspired by nature, legends, and all things curious and odd. I love the fact that the Green Man's on there, and there's an owl kind of peeking over the top. I love the programme and the crazy things you do. Keep up the good work. Karen Poppy Little." So Karen, thank you very much for that. Sorry You're Going came from Barry and Julie Evans. This is the end of another chapter, but not the story. We'll be with you wherever you go. Thank you for that. Jean has sent in a Christmas card, which is going to be the most random thing, but we're grateful because she popped in earlier. And thank you for being all kinds of amazing, which is lovely. No words, 100 wouldn't be enough. Love, Anne Cumpson. Anne, thank you very much. But let's get some more of you on. Sandra's with us. Hello, Sandra, in Whitley Bay.
Hi. Hi, Alan.
Hello, love. What are you talking about tonight?
Right. I watch a lot of programmes about UFOs.
Oh, right, yes.
And I'm really fascinated by them. And there was a programme on Quest.
Right.
The other night, and it was called Alien Encounters Declassified.
Right.
Right, and it was the most fascinating and a bit scary programme that I've watched.
Why? Why were you frightened by it?
Well, scared a little bit.
Yeah.
It was just so realistic. It was in America, right? And they talked to loads of people, because pilots and people like that are coming forward now with information.
Yes.
which they wouldn't do before, and sort of important people as well.
Right.
And it was about people seeing UFOs, abductions and operations, and people talked about what happened to them.
Yes.
And it was just so real. I mean, maybe some of them made it up. I don't know. But it honestly really brought it home to us.
Well, I think the vast majority of them are either far-fetched or made up. I think the vast majority. However, I did a series of shows in what I call the Alien Jesus story, because it was a mixture of aliens and religious stories, because they do actually mix incredibly well. And I showed all of the history and all of the artifacts that exist around the world that nobody can explain. There's a lump of metal stuck in the earth in India, and it goes into the earth about 30 feet and it sticks out about 30 feet the other way, and nobody can tell you what the metal is. It's not a metal that exists on earth. So where did it come from? We visited Peru and we flew over the Nazca lanes, and while I was there, I visited a temple that has on the wall an Inca warrior in a spaceship. The only thing it can be is a spaceship. And this was like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years old. How is that possible? As I say, those things, if you're interested, are on Robson's World, my website. But the thing that's interesting about it is we did one show where we only talked to people who'd been abducted, but only the ones who could prove it by either having implants put in their body that had to be removed, or that had been witnessed by other people that saw them being abducted. So when you do that and you actually hear people say, this is what's happened to me, and you put yourself in their headspace just for a second, it's an amazing thing. And there's so many, and remember, you only need one of them to be true. Just one of them. So no, I'm afraid I've got a foot in that camp too. I do believe in the fact that there must be life elsewhere, because there just must be.
Different people have different opinions.
Sure.
As to why they're here.
Yeah.
If they're here.
What's yours?
I mean,
what do you think?
Well, like I say, I've just got all the bits of stuff I've seen on the TV.
Right.
I think maybe, probably not a good idea, but I think maybe this planet, they know is going to end. So maybe they're trying to create people from us for another planet.
Oh, blimey.
I know, it's pretty horrible, isn't it?
Yes, well, by the way, thanks for that. We're all going to die, everybody. That's a nice positive way.
Or it could be, a lot of people think it's that their planet is dying, or that, they need to renew the people on it.
Yeah.
So they're using our DNA.
Right.
What do you think, Alan?
I kind of view it the other way around. I think that if you look at, and this, again, it's what the whole series that we made was about, if you look back into our distant history, I'm not talking the last 1,000 years, I'm talking pre-biblical history, and you look at all the writings, they all talk about bright lights in the sky and strange creatures coming down from heaven or the sky. You can really ally a lot of those stories with alien intervention. So maybe back in our long distant past, aliens came here and helped create us, and maybe we come from them, and maybe they're just keeping an eye on them, so there's any number. I try and prove that in the various shows that we did. I think we did 5 Alien Jesus shows.
Yeah, I did hear some of them,
Yeah, and we try our best to give what we can prove, because you see, if you can prove there's an image of a spaceship on a wall, and then we took a photo of it and we put it out on one of our galleries, if we can show people, say, well, if this isn't a spaceship, what the hell is it? And there's one of the other famous Nazca lanes. These are things that are like 300 yards long and 300 yards wide, and they're made so you can't see them while you're walking. But you've got to be
Yeah, I
you've
would
got to be
love
up in
to
the
go
sky. I mean, who else would bother to do something like that? But there's one of them that looks like a spaceman in a spacesuit. And
yeah, and he's waving or pointing to the sky.
there you go. You're already there. Well, hey, be interesting. We'll see what everybody else says as well. We'll get a few of you on about that.
One other thing. Well, I'm not sure I believe in Jesus, but you know all the Jesus thing about the light in the sky and everything, the star.
Yes.
You know, I mean, who knows?
Well, because you see, if it was a planet, if it was a star that was really hovering above, because of the way that gravity works, Earth would have been destroyed, right? So it can't be a star. If it can't be a star, what is there that can travel and then stop static above a small village?
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be something that flies, hasn't it, you'd think?
If it happened.
Right. There you go.
I think you're a bit, like me, sceptical.
Well, you've got to be, really, in this day and age. But the truth is, we'll never know, but we can cogitate, and that's what we like cogitating on this show.
Yeah, I'll try and look on the bright side.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sandra. Let's just hope if it's going to happen, let it happen in 500 million years' time, because we need a bit more time, don't we? There you go. Anyway, thank you very much. Cheers, Sandra.
Right, bye.
Bye-bye. There you go. 01914 488 3188. Scott, or West Scott, it says. Could be Scott West. Can't believe that other local stations isn't snapping you up. This is your gig and it'll always be. We need the nightly show back ASAP. It'll be lovely to think so. Thank you kindly. David has sent this one in. I'm really going to miss you. You've kept us cheered up throughout the years. Going to be a massive miss. Hope you come back very soon. You're amazing. Listen to you since the days of Wayne, David Johnson. Thank you. And I love this. It's from our trusty taxi driver, Tony. Tough times never last, but tough people do. Bless you. Thank you for that. Let us crack on. We have Paul, and he's in South Shields. Hello, Paul.
Hello, Alan, my friend. How are you?
Oh, man, where have you been? I missed you, Paul.
I've missed you as well, Bunny lad. But let's explain to you, the last time I was talking to you, I've got this crazy job where I'll meet myself down the other way, getting up in the morning,
Hey, to have a job is a great thing, and that's your adventure, and you got to do the best for it. I don't blame you, man. Don't blame you.
Oh, I've had some adventures indeed. But just going back over the years, man, all the great laughs we've had, the quiz nights and the crazy nights, as you know, where
absolutely
you used to think, what the hell are they going to do this time?
I'll never forget, and I wonder if you can remember, Beep-oo! This was a worm that came out of your penis, if you were wondering. It could only happen here. But yeah, happy memories, Paul. Thank you, man.
I think the guy with the plunger one was a good one as well, wasn't it? We couldn't stop laughing at that one, could we?
That's great. Tremendous.
And then your crazy road shows as well.
Yeah.
Standing in the town while getting soaking.
Do you remember that? This is probably the wettest night ever. This was like, would have given Noah a fright this night. At the town moor, in front of the stage, it was about a foot deep of water, and yet it was full of people. All getting soaked, or water going over the top of their wellies. I remember when I got home as well, I was completely covered in clots, and yet we did about 2.5 hours of dancing about in the rain, and nobody gave a monkeys.
Well, never felt it.
Absolutely. Happy days, man. Happy days.
Indeed. I'll just launch into something. Do you know what it is? It's a strange coincidence. I've been moving stuff around in the house,
right?
And I came across a huge ring binder folder, one of the cardboard folders, and another thing all full of the crap that I used to gather together to come on with,
Oh, brilliant.
So I've raked around and I've getting a couple of bits just for old time's sake.
Oh, please, let's do it.
Back to what we used to do.
Yeah, for sure.
A cricket chirping can tell the temperature outside, counting how many times a cricket chirps in 15 seconds, and then adding 40 to that number will approximately tell you what temperature it is in Fahrenheit. That's life's too short for that crap.
That's brilliant.
And fried spiders apparently taste like nuts. Not that I want to try that either.
No, I've eaten a water spider when we did Ted's story in the jungle. That was not well. It was nuts, but not in flavour. That's for sure.
Some church bulletin bloopers.
Come on.
Right. This being Easter Sunday, talk about topical, we'll ask Mrs. Johnson to come forward and lay an egg at the altar. The service will close with little drops of water. One of the ladies will start quietly and the rest of the congregation will join in. and for, potluck supper, prayer and medication to follow. Oh. Right, what we've got? Old wives' tales and beliefs.
Right.
Bad luck to pick up a coin if it's tail side up. Good luck comes if it's heads up. And to cure a cough, take a hair from the coughing person's head, put it between 2 slices of buttered bread, feed it to a dog, and say, "Eat well, you hound, you may be sick, and I be sound."
Wow.
And apparently, cows lifting their tails is a sure sign that rain's coming. I think there's more than rain coming if they're lifting their tails.
You'll get wet one way or another.
When you just... and apparently, I just read this on Facebook.
Yeah.
When you go to the loo, you know, and your sphincter apparently makes or mimes the word poop when you poop. If you think about it.
I don't want anybody to send in anything remotely like that, please.
No.
Because normally when you or anyone else says anything like that, I get like 50 clips.
Right, I'm going to finish off with a joke, my friend.
Come on then. Thank you, Paul.
Here we go. It's an oldie but a goodie. A farmer goes out to his field one morning only to find all his cows are frozen solid. As far as the eye can see, cows are motionless like statues. It had been a bitterly cold night, but he never thought anything like this would happen. The realisation of the situation then dawned on him. With his entire livestock gone, how would he make ends meet? How would he feed his wife and kids? How would he pay his mortgage? He sat with his head in his hands trying to come to terms with his impending poverty. Just then an elderly woman walked by. "What's the matter?" asked the old lady. The farmer gestured towards the frozen cows and explained his predicament. Without hesitation, she smiled, began to rub one of the cow's noses. After a few seconds, it began to twitch and was soon back to normal. Chewing the cud. One by one, she went round and defrosted all the cows until the whole field was full of healthy animals. The farmer was delighted and asked the woman what she wanted as a repayment. She declined his offer and walked off across the field. Passerby, who had witnessed the whole thing, approached the farmer. "You know who that was, don't you?" asked the passerby. "No," the farmer. "Who?" "That was Thor, I heard."
Oh, boom. Classic. Thank you, Paul. Great to talk to you, man.
Alan.
Love the family.
Cheers,
Thanks, man. Bye-bye. Oh, there you go. Paul from South Shields, who was a staunch. Oh, he was a staunch, him. Hello, Ken. Newcastle. Hello, Ken. Good to talk to you, mate. What can we do for you, mate? Hi.
I'm just remembering the days when you used to wind your brain up on when you've done that.
Yeah, there was years of it, actually.
Yeah, it was years. The last time I think I was online was when Michael Owen signed for Newcastle. I said he was going to sign.
Right, yes.
And that was some years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody had high hopes, and he became one of Newcastle's great sick notes.
Yes, you're right there.
Pretty much.
But hopefully it's great at times for the tune.
Oh, no question about it. And they're coming. Yeah.
But you're going to be a big miss online. You know that.
Well, I'll be online somewhere. Don't worry about it. We got a new podcast where you can get a lot of the stuff that you've liked listening to in the past, and then we'll find a way to keep Night Owls going.
But you like all the charities and all the people you've helped out over the years, you appreciate it.
Well, hey, thank you. Hey, if we help them, you never know when you might need their help.
Oh, that's it. Well, I can remember meeting you because I work for the council, and I was. Right. This was a few years ago, and I met you on the Great North Run.
All right.
When you were, and I was on the clean-up, tidying up after it.
Champion. Oh, that's great. Well, you're the hidden stars, you know, the Great North Run, because there's hundreds of you, and as soon as everybody gets past and all the hoo-ha's out the way, there's just you guys and me left. We're the only ones left where the start is. So thank you for what you do.
Yeah, the atmosphere on the Great North Run was bouncing when you used to do it.
I still do it. I
wasn't there this year. But over the years, you've been brilliant.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad you've enjoyed summing.
And hopefully you go on for a long time.
Well, I'll keep on. I'll go as long as I can, man. But thank you very much, Ken. Great to hear from you.
And I just want a big shout out to me son, Zach and Rachel.
Okay, you got it. Thanks very much, Ken.
Right, thank you.
Good night, man. Bye-bye. Now, I mentioned earlier, and somebody who used to ring a lot, and I remember this guy actually falling asleep on lane on one occasion. It's young Elvis. Do you remember that?
You have to remind us, do you?
I love it. How you doing?
I am so nervous.
You shouldn't be. Blame you. Should be. You're semi-professional at this.
Oh my God, that's one thing I was going to mention tonight as well.
Yeah, funny stuff.
How are you doing anyway?
I'm all right, man. I hope you. What are you up to these days?
Oh, what am I not up to these days?
Oh, right.
I just do a lot of things at the moment.
Good. Well, keep yourself busy.
I still do my voluntary work. I've been doing that since I was about 15.
Right, great. Well done.
And I'm 30 now.
Wow, unbelievable. It's been a trip, hasn't it?
to think I'd been calling in since I was about 12 or 13 years old, man, honestly.
Fantastic. Happy days.
I'll definitely never forget the last we had, like you said, I fell asleep on air.
It was hilarious. We tried everything to get you to wake up. And then you woke up as if nothing had happened. It was like, yeah, funny.
Well, I didn't know I was on until my mum woke us up.
That's tremendous. Tremendous.
It was. I had a few things to mention, so I'll try and get through them as quick as I can.
Do it, yeah.
I am starting to hear the end of Night Owls, and it has been a really amazing part of my life.
Good.
So I thank you for what you did a few years ago, stopping people bullying us online. I'll never be any more grateful than what I am now for it. So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'll never forget the laughs we had, when I fell asleep. And also, can you remember the time I said that I got off with someone in the back of a taxi?
Yes.
I so worded that wrong.
That was funny, though.
Well, what I meant was me and her just got out at the same location.
Yeah, but it never sounded like that. It never sounded like that for once. Funny.
Hey, I've got a way of saying things, man, honestly.
For sure.
I remember one time I went to a Night Owls party, but the night before I'd went to a karaoke place in North Shields.
Right.
I got quite drunk with my dad, and my dad put us a taxi home.
Right.
Someone came up with us the following day at the Night Owls party saying, do you know who I am? Do you remember us from last night? So there's me thinking I was like in a fight or an argument or something. I'm like, no, I didn't. I don't remember you, mate. Sorry. Well, you should do. I'm your taxi driver.
Oh, blame. So he saw you in a right state the night before.
He did. I still see him to this day as well. Shout out to Sean. He knows who he is.
I bet. Right.
I remember being on stage before you at Metroland.
Yes, I remember that too.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't believe that CD was jumping. The CD was jumping more than the crowd.
Yeah, it was where we were placed, and back in the day, you didn't use laptops. Everything was on CD, so thank you. Yes, it jumped a lot, but it would have jumped more if it was vinyl, in fairness. So we did what we had to do, but you did brilliant. Well done.
My CD was quite scratched a bit, but thanks to Kenny and Matt for letting us doing it.
Never
Matthew Farquharson, Ridley Bailey,
absolutely.
if you remember.
No, of course, yeah, he was there.
Mentioned Colin as well, because I know he's listening tonight. He's a good friend of mine.
Good.
And because if it hadn't been for Night Owls, I wouldn't have as many friends as what I do have, like Colin, Davey, yourself, Crystal, Michael, Johnny Death, Ollie, Kurt, everyone. They're just all amazing people.
Hey, well, thanks very much for coming back, Elvis. We really appreciate it. Thanks for sharing.
Not a problem. Can I just mention one more thing before I go? I think it's quite important.
Yeah, do it, of course.
Me and a couple of YouTubers, like well known in the Northeast, are doing a video about autism awareness.
Right.
Because I know you'll probably not know this, but I got diagnosed with autism when I was 26.
Right.
So if the people who know us, they'll be looking out for it, and I'll put it on my Facebook and things like that.
Well, we'll still have our Night Owls feed as well that goes out to thousands of people. So make sure you put it on there. Make sure that everybody knows, because we've got a lot of our listeners who are autistic or have members of their family who are. It'll benefit them, I'm sure, too.
Yeah, I share a page with someone called Strive for Autism in Tenerife. Because I've got a very close friend in Tenerife.
Right.
And I know with autism, a lot of it's like, when people go like train spotting and bus spotting and everything like that.
Yeah.
I've got a friend's son who does that, and it's a really good channel. It's called GT Transport.
Right.
So I highly recommend that.
Okay. Hey, well, good
and
luck with it.
I just want to say thank you to you for everything.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for being part of it, Elvis. Great to hear from you again. Thanks for calling.
Same to you, Alan.
Cheers,
much love to you.
And back to you. Thanks for calling. 0191 488 3188. Now, I have neglected to give you your first clue. Now, we are running a competition to win a drinks thingy. And Tony's not at his seat, so he can't put that image up on his screen. But we are giving away it keeps drinks either very hot or very cold. Or if you leave the lid off, lukewarm. Or oh, there it is. Hey, well done. That was quick. He dove back into that office. Non-spill Night Owls cup. There you go. They will become an absolute collector's item. So if you would like one, all you got to do is work out whose hits we're talking about. Going to give you 4 clues. Each clue is a song title. You'll end up with 4 song titles. They're all the same hit. Well, are they hits for the same artiste or artistes? So clue number 1 is... when it's just about to hail. Okay? When it's just about to hail. That's the really hard clue, okay? When it's just about to hail. 3 more clues. I think the next one's probably going to give it away. If not, the third one's a cert. And the 4th one is easy peasy lemon squeezy. The 4th one is an absolute doddle. So you will work out who this band or superstar is. Clue 1, when it's just about to hail. Let's dive on to Anonymous, who's in Howden. Hello, Anonymous.
Hello, Alan.
Hello there. What can we do for you, mate?
I'm a first-time caller.
Thank you.
I've been listening. I'm 83, and I've been listening since I was 9.
What?
Oi, Savaloy.
Hello, Easter. How you doing?
Are you all right, my friend?
I'm fine, and I never thought you were that old, But okay.
All right. Alan, when the old days, they had that earphone in, I couldn't afford it, earphone. I used to have the speaker under my pillow, and my father used to bang on the wall. Get that off! Honestly, straight up. Hey, man. You're a legend, mate. You've had us crying, you've had us laughing, you've been involved in every, when you took women out of places and all that, and you're a legend, man. Right. What are you going to do? Well, now what you're going to do, you're going to fly on YouTube.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
Aye. Yeah, a Libra like myself, which has put us into bother more than once. It must be a Libra thing, right?
Yeah.
Boom. With what do you want to hear? Loads of times, man.
Right.
Loads of times.
Yeah.
The song, well, I would have got hot chocolate. I believe in miracles, yeah. Right. And I've only got ... I couldn't fill the rest in me.
That's all right.
But I've cracked on. I've been, through my life, I've been through school, unemployed, employed in a good job for 20 years, unemployed for 10 years, bang into self-employed now as a mobility scooter repairer.
Wow, how about that? You never know where you're going to end up. That's the mystery of life right there.
And I offer loads of things cheaper than most. Time Tunnel Mobility on Facebook. If anybody wants to say, Alan, I listen to Alan, you know for a fact I'll sort them out.
I know you will, man. Yeah.
But honestly, I fixed a puncher. You know I live Howden. I fixed a puncher in Battle Hill last week.
Yeah.
He says, I got one the other day and it cost us 75 quid.
Cheapest for a tyre.
To come out no, I had to fix a puncher.
Oh, I know, but
believe us, I'm more than half that.
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
The bloke couldn't believe it, honestly. The shops and all that, the big shops, they want 60, 90 quid before they come.
They're taking people's eyes out, aren't
they? They're taking people's eyes out, and that's exactly what I told me. That's why I've done it.
Yeah. Hey, well done. There's obviously a need for you, so let's hope that keeps on keeping on.
Well, honestly, people who listen will know. And it's just crazy. I mean, I'm still doing all right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm chock-a-block.
Right, good.
As opposed to taking their eyes out and getting one a week.
No, I know, it's just not fair.
Do you know what I mean? It's honestly, the people will ring up now and tell you what the pay is for a puncher repair, a service, a breakdown. If they ring me, I'm going to be like the fourth AA. Honestly, I have me watch. I'll be on Dragon's Den.
I think so, and you deserve to be, because you're undercutting people who are just charging more than they really should.
You can do all right for a reasonable, fair price.
Absolutely. No, I believe you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy, honestly.
Yeah.
People will ring up, I guarantee, people will ring up and say, puncher, 70 quid, that was cheap.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. It's crazy prices.
Shocking.
Time Tunnel Mobility.
Gotcha.
Facebook.
We got it. Easter, thank you very much, man. Great to hear from you. Thanks, man.
You know the score, mate.
I do. Love to you.
I know.
Take it easy.
Honestly, you have me filling up. And you haven't laughed me head off.
It's the way to be.
Play some Disney tunes, innit, man?
We will. Thank you, Easter. All the best. I'm going to have a chat to one more. Then we have a tune and a star coming out at night, and it's a member of the Rolling Stones. So, Uncle Arthur's with us. It used to be Carstairs. Is it still Carstairs, Arthur?
Not quite, no. I'm about 5 miles further along the map, and a place you've actually visited, apparently, in a conversation you've had with me in the past. You've visited Lanark.
Yes, I have indeed. Oh, I like Lanark.
Yeah, so I'm actually a couple of streets away from where you were. If I had known, I would have made you a cake and made you a cup of tea and invited you round.
Everybody always says that when I've left.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm absolutely fine. Because you've been asking how it all started for us. Well, I think you and I have got a bit of a history here, right? We do. A bit of a history that goes back to the early 1990s. Now, I've got to say to your listeners, as you've probably guessed, dear listener, I'm not from around these parts. I'm not from the northeast of England. Yeah, I was actually one of, in the days before internet radio, I was actually one of Alan's most distant listeners, and that's quite genuine. And here's how it happened. I don't know if you're aware of this one, but it actually happened when I was still at school, which was a few years ago. And in Lanark, in the High Street, there was a derelict store. It was an old cooperative store which had been lying derelict for quite some time. And during a lunch break, such was the daftness of teenagers, we decided to go and roam around in this derelict building. And I noticed that there was quite a lot of copper wire that was sticking out of the bit of a hole in the wall. It wasn't live because the building had been powered down. Fortunately, it was. I didn't touch it or lick it to find out, but it wasn't live. And I actually acquired it and stuffed it into my school bag. And then what I did was I made it. For some reason, I decided to make an aerial out of this one.
Right.
Out of this very long bit of copper wire. Now, I lived in a largish bedroom in a council house in Carstairs, as you know, and I put this copper wire around the perimeter wall of my bedroom, and so it went around the entire wall of my bedroom, right around it, all 360 degrees of it, okay? And I plugged it into the back of my hi-fi system, and one of the first things I heard was your voice. Your voice from coming over 100 miles away from where I am, and I was hooked ever since, and that was back in 1987.
Wow, that's great.
1987, when I was still at school. And throughout the years, well, got a job, eventually got married, all that stuff, and made new friends in Sunderland. So I've become a pseudo Mackham as well. And one of the things that was the cause of all that for me actually having friends down in Sunderland and going up and down every weekend as I was during the mid 1990s was actually because of your show, because I used to contribute to your programme, and it was always my intention, and you'll probably remember this, is that I never do serious phone calls with you. I always try to make you laugh out loud and hopefully make the listeners laugh out loud as well, because there are a lot of serious phone calls made by the excellent contributors to the show, so I do try to lift up the mood. And it seemed to have worked because one of you, I think it was, probably the second or third occasion I actually phoned you as your most distant listener in those days. One of your listeners decided to say hello to me, and they called me Uncle Arthur.
That's right.
And so the name stuck. So that was it. From that point onwards, I was to be called Uncle Arthur.
And you were always too young, really, even to be an uncle in most.
That's very well. Not so much these days. Not so much these days. I realised I was getting old when I actually walked into a pub one day, and I think it was what 21 years old or something, and the bar staff were actually younger than me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's when you knew you're getting old. Another occasion I realised I was getting old was when oh my goodness, I saw this. I saw this young woman, and I was only in my mid-20s myself, and I saw this young woman. She was walking down the street, and she was very scantily clad for walking down the street, and she had the short skirt and the bare legs, and she had a short top on, and my very first thought was, oh my goodness, she's going to catch a death of cold. She needs a jacket.
No, but mind you, up in Scotland, you got men that walk around in bare legs, so you can't really have it both ways, can you?
I don't. Oh no, I don't. Right, and I've always had this theory. If you ever come to Edinburgh, as I'm sure you have many a times, you've probably seen that bagpiper that stands in the Royal Mile.
Absolutely.
Right, I can tell you right now, he is not Scottish. Okay, he's definitely not Scottish, because nobody that's actually Scottish is daft enough to stand in that street all day, every day, in the peeing wet rain, just to earn a bit of money. We just don't do it. We have far more sense. But then, because I've enjoyed my time blathering to you over the years, and I certainly enjoyed my time running up and down every weekend with my friends to see my friends in Sunderland over the years as well. And it's been great. I've had a fantastic time, and I just want to say to listeners that there's a lot of things in common between Scottish people and Geordies and Mackhams, except that Scottish people don't really have the brains.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, we've got an awful lot in common. Let's just put it that way.
But I'm going to reclaim Berwick when we get our independence. Right. That's what we're going to do.
I think I'd be most of Berwick would be happy to step across the border these days. However, Arthur, it's been a joy. Thanks for sharing all this.
It has been. Thank you very much, Alan.
Cheers, mate. Bye. Hello, Darren.
Hello, Alan. How are you doing?
I'm all right, man. What are you talking about tonight?
I don't know if you remember speaking. There was a while ago about indie artists in the North East.
Yes, of course.
It was a few weeks ago. Yeah, I mean, I just released my own album about last week and that, right. And because I actually released singles over the past couple of years, and all that, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
My album's already had like over 550,000 streams and that, like,
Brilliant.
So I've done really well in that, like, you know what I mean?
It's great.
But I've been working on another song for basically it's called The Great North East Land.
Right.
And it's come about because I had like a load of lyrics put together for like different little bits of projects, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a guy called John Wall from the East Durham area, John Walsey. Mm-hmm. And he's been organising something called the Horden Heroes.
Right.
And basically what it's all about the people that passed away while working for the pit.
Right.
In the like Horden pit. Mm-hmm. And what they've done is they put this like project together and produced like a book. There's been quite a number of people involved in this. Excuse me. And mine's just like a small part because I've done like done a bit of the music and that, like, you know, like say, I've given them the song, and it's basically called The Great Northeast Land, and it's all about like the pit, and you know what I mean, and the people that worked in it, and that sort of thing, you know.
Right.
And it's been really well received. That, like, you know, it's had quite a few streams on Spotify. Great. And they've used it on a video on YouTube and all that, you know.
Excellent.
So people in the Northeast look for like Great Northeast Land, will come across the video, or if they look for Horden Heroes, they'll also come across it.
Right.
And it's doing really well in that, you know.
No, well done. It's on your doorstep as well, so it's a nice thing to be involved with, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he was looking for people who were basically involved in, like, or had family that were involved in the pits in like Horden or like Easton area and that, like, you know.
Yeah.
And my great granddad used to work in the shotting pit, but I think previously, last couple of years, they did Easton Colliery. Because after the pit disaster, I think it was like focused around that. So,
right.
And so they've gone on to like do Horden pit this year.
Right.
And there's a couple of people like done photographs for like certificates, like, you know. And it's basically like a big collection of certificates of people who've passed away while they've been working in the different pits, not like, you know. But like the current one that they've done is Horden Heroes.
Well, it's one of those stories of forgotten heroes, really, isn't it? Because people know there were collieries all over the Northeast, but the people that worked there, and it was a hell of a job, they get forgotten about, and it's nice that you're bringing them back to life again. Then, Darren, well done.
I think there'd probably be quite a few people in the Northeast who wouldn't be here without the pits, wouldn't there? You know what I mean? I mean, my granddad came from like Northern Ireland, not like, you know, and my great granddad, so we came from Northern Ireland.
Right.
And so I wouldn't have been here without him. You know what I mean?
Sure. I know, it's good stuff. Well, thanks for telling us about it, so people can find that online and check it out. Brilliant. Anything else while you're on then, Darren?
I've got a little bit of a funny one for you. I used to have the McCorville in Elwick. I don't know if you've ever known it, and that, like, you know, it's just a little pub in Elwick.
Right.
And it was like over 12 years ago that we came out of there due to the recession, that, like, you know. But while we were there, it was a great little pub and that, like. And one of the things that we did was a ghost hunt.
Right.
And I put a sign outside one night saying, now, if anybody's got any stories about ghosts in the village, because the village is actually over 1,000 years old.
Right, sure.
You know, so there's like lots of things in the village, not like, you know, that were like spooky.
Yeah.
There was like a witch had been like hung there, and that, like, you know, at the crossroads near Elwick and what have you, in different bits and pieces. So on the first night we ever did it, I mean, we didn't even charge anybody. It was just for donations, not like, you know, we donated the money to like Macmillan.
Right.
And one of the things that we did was, like, say, people came and told us these different stories and all that. So I got dressed up as a monk. I think it was on just the night before Halloween, and we went out round the village. And there was 60 people turned up to do the ghost walk.
Wow, brilliant!
So it was mint, you know. But the best thing about it, though, as we were doing the different little houses and talking about the ghosts that were reportedly there, people were adding to the stories, you know. And it made it really good, and that, like, you know. But one of the things we ended up doing, we ended up back at the pub, of course.
Yeah.
And we had these massive stables out the back, and it was like really dark inside. And so I went in first, and I started telling the story about how this man who had a horse, and was kept in the stables.
Right.
And he went back to he was in love with the woman that run the pub at the time. But when he went back to the pub one night, he found out that the woman had ran off with another man. So he went, the only other thing in his life that he loved, which was his horse. And he jumped on his horse, put like a noose over the rafters, the noose around his neck, give the horse a kick, and the horse ran off and all, you know, and of course he came crashing down and was hung there. Right. So as I was telling the story, I was just standing there at the pub just with this candle, and I was thinking, God, something going to happen here. So after I just told the story, I said, if you listen very carefully, you can still hear him crying. And of course, when I said that, then I was like, ha 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 ha, and it scared the shit out of them all. Like, you know what I mean? So the daft thing was, right, just to get people back to the pub, I actually added that story. I made it up. It was just a bit of a bit of a laugh and that, like, you know. Yeah. But the strange thing was, about months later, there was a family that came from Dalton Pacey, which is the next village down, and they came with this American girl. Right, and as I was sitting there, all absorbed, it was at dinner time and that, like, you know, so I was served having dinner. And it got to the point where the only people left in the pub. And this American girl started telling the story. And it was a story about the man hanging himself in the stables and that, like, you know. I was standing behind the post in the pub, just crying well after that, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't have that until it was like, you know, it was just a joke.
But it added
Do you know what I mean?
it added to the atmosphere for her, though, didn't it? That was.
Oh God, yeah, it did, yeah. I mean, there was, you know, she was getting little bits of bases wrong, so I had to put her right. You know what I mean? But we kept it going and that, like, you know, but like it was really, really funny. You know what I mean?
You do realise in like 100 years, people will be travelling to Elwick to see. This is the place. This is the place where that story happened. Brilliant. Hey, well, good to have you. Sorry.
No, that's good to talk to you about. So we haven't done like an overnight stay and all, like, you know, with like some ghost hunters and all, like, you know. But like it was back in the days when we didn't even charge. But we did like some videos and we actually recorded some like orbs flying around and that sort of thing in there as well, you know.
Excellent.
And I wish I could get hold of one of the videos now because we got about 10 of them done on CD. Right. And they were like, you had to watch them, that, like, you know, they're really, really good and that, like, you know. Yeah, but that's another story.
Topper.
Anyway, Alan.
Good luck to you,
yourself.
Thanks again, mate.
What are you doing? Take care, mate. Bye-bye.
And you, bye-bye. How about that? And we asked, what's your dumbest moment or your greatest night owl memory? We'll have them too. And keep them coming in. Lots of stuff. And again, somebody's asked, can I have another look at that hat that you were sent? This was, I think we've got the person who made this hat. Hang on. Oh, there you go. There's the green man and an owl on the top. And a bit of steampunk going on down below. It's amazing. I just like looking at it. It's fab. Nice little top hat. 0191 488 3188. Keep your calls coming. Do not forget the first clue. Can you come up with a song title that fits this clue? When it's just about to hail. Now, when you get to realise who it is, you'll get that answer straight away. But I'm not sure that many of you are there quite yet. Let's crack on. Edwin is with us. He's in Gateshead. Hi, Edwin.
Hi, mate. How are you?
I'm all right.
I'm sorry to hear about stuff to eat, but I've been broke. But anyway, one more last is When Beneath My Sheets. That song, When Beneath My Wings, she's changed it a bit.
I bet.
How are you? All right?
Yes, I'm fine. Thanks for coming on.
I see it, but it's my personal opinion. I think you put Metro on the map. You put this radio station on the map. I just wish you well. You're a smashing bloke. You're a really good bloke. You know, where you're holding your sleeve. You're such a nice bloke. And Chris has been a good stand-in and all when you've been off.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But I wish you all the best, really.
Thanks, man.
I just wish we could get like a just giving page and just get your own radio station. That's what I'd love, is to have your own radio station. But either we are just wish you all the best.
Thanks very much.
Well.
No worries. Thanks for coming on, Edwin. Really appreciate it.
Look after yourself,
thanks, man. Bye-bye. Sweet. 0191 488 3188. And Kay has sent a little note in, says the Northeast owes you more than you ever know. Well, bless you. Thank you for that. It's you know, you give and you take. And you guys have stood behind me loyal, steadfast and true, and it was the only thing I asked of you. And I thank you for it. 0191 488 3188. We have Louise, who is with us on, I think, in Chesterley Street. Hello, Louise.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, darling. What can we do for you today?
I don't know if you remember, I was on last summer talking about Kurt and getting fundraising for a bed and stuff about me disabled son.
I do remember well.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm happy to say we've got the bed now. It took a while, but we got it. Great. We got the money at Christmas, and it come in February, and it's absolutely amazing. It's like words can't even describe how good it is.
Explain why you needed it, because obviously it was a long time since you last called, and tell us all about the bed.
Right, so obviously Kurt's 7, but he's got severe autism, severe learning difficulties. He doesn't sleep at all,
right.
So he doesn't understand danger or anything like that. So on a night, he constantly wakes up and he was like wandering the house, and obviously because he doesn't understand danger, he doesn't know, like he was trying to go in the kitchen, escape out of doors and stuff and everything. So every time Kurt was awake, me and my husband would have to, like, one of us will have to be awake with him all night, so we never got any sleep. So now that he's got the bed, it's like he's safe inside, so he can't hurt himself and he can't do anything. So I've never slept for 7 years, so now that I actually have got the opportunity to sleep, it's still hard because I can't do it, but
I'm learning. I'm getting there.
Because it's only when you get used to sleeping again that those bags will start to disappear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's tremendous, though. So describe the bed, because the bed was the thing that you had to have, but it's not like, I mean, let's face it, if you needed a bed, we could have got you a bed in 24 hours, but this was an extra special thing. Tell us what made it so special then.
Right, so it's called a safe space bed. So it's like, I suppose you can imagine it's like a playpen type tent sort of thing, where it's like, it's got like latex all around the side and a net at the top, and it's got windows so he can see in and out, and then it's got like the mattress near the back, and it's got like space at the front where he can play as well. So it's got huge amount of space inside, and it's like a zip round, so he can't escape. And I think that's why the professionals wouldn't help, because there's a fine line between being safe and like being trapped. Mm-hmm.
No, I get
but
that. But it's changed your world, though. That's the thing.
Totally. And I mean, Kurt's got the mental age of a 6-month-old baby, so he does not understand at all. And but these beds are available, and like, I live in County Durham, and they're available in Gateshead and Newcastle, and OTs give them out all over the country, apart from County Durham, which was the biggest fight of all. And it was really annoying that my county didn't help us get one, but they're all over the country, and they work great. They're in Great Ormond Street Hospital for children, and they work brilliant. And I know loads of people like in the country who've got them, and they've said the same as me. It's lovely to be able to relax knowing that the child is safe. And but I had to fight to get mine. But I've got it now.
It's there. You're sorted. You'll be able to meet your husband again.
Yeah, that's weird. It really is, because like we've hardly ever slept in the same bed for like so many years. It's like one's always downstairs, so it's really strange. It is.
Yeah, it just reminds me of a village people nearly hit. Wasn't one of their big hits. It was a nearly hit. Sex over the phone. That was probably it. Because you were never going to get close to him while the band needed your help, because you were obviously looking at him. He came first, and that was lovely.
Yeah, but now we're fundraising again now. So we've got like Kurt, we can't go on holiday, and we find it hard to go like day trips and stuff, because Kurt's in such a strict routine, and he doesn't like going anywhere really unfamiliar and stuff, so we really struggle. So we're getting our garden we're getting it done out into like a sensory garden for him. So it's going to have like I don't know if you've seen them things that you put on the fence, like they make noise and stuff, and where you can play, a water bit, a sand pit, like a trampoline, all like sensory stuff.
Yeah, all the smelly stuff.
Yeah, so like our garden's hazardous, and it's on a slant at the minute. It's half concrete and half like mud and soil, so we're getting it all done into a sensory garden for him. So we're fundraising again for that for him, so he can have some sort of like, he shouldn't have to miss out on things. So I'm thinking that I'll bring it to him in our garden. So everything that I would take to him, I'm going to bring to him in our garden, hopefully, so he can play and have fun and be safe and stuff. But
have you thought about contacting one of the big garden centres and explain to them what the issue is, and see if they'll get involved? It's worth it. Give it a go.
Yeah.
And also, don't forget to contact Cash for Kids as well, because this is the kind of stuff that they'll do in a sensory garden. I know how much they bring in, because they're an amazing charity. As I say, I was on the board of it for a long time. This is something they could do in their sleep. They could fund something like that with the snap of their fingers, really.
Yeah, and I mean, we're still with the Bradley Lowry Foundation as well.
I understand.
So that's great. And we've got so many people to thank for like helping us along the way. You yourself, because ever since I spoke to you, loads of people got in touch, all because I spoke to you. A guy who's helped us with all the online DJ gigs, called DJ Tats from Gateshead. He's been absolutely amazing. He organised loads of stuff for us, and it's like so many people that we had to thank for helping us get the bed for Kurt and stuff.
Well, you're there now. Let's see if we can get the garden turned around. That would be the next one.
So Kurt's got his own page on Facebook, and it's called A Safe Space for Kurt. That's where people can follow his journey, and also he's Just Given page is called A Safe Space for Kurt as well, so it comes up when you type it in Google or any search bar. So Yeah, so we're trying to do that now, so it'll get there eventually.
It will, no question about it. Hey, good luck to you, Louise. Thank you very much, Dan. Thanks for coming
Thanks
on.
a lot.
Love to
Thank
Kurt.
you.
Bye-bye. How about that? Hiya, George.
Hi, Alan. How are you doing, me old person? I'm trying to keep it clean.
Well, I noticed because there's an awful lot of P's that kind of do sum me up, George. So thanks for picking person. How are you? I'm fine.
I'm not too bad. Getting older, that's the only thing.
Well, it's just when people get older, bits drop off. It's normal. It's normal, George.
Yeah, but it's unfortunate the bits that drop off.
It is, absolutely. So how are you, though? I mean, yeah, I know you're obviously getting older. Everybody is.
Yeah.
It's part of life.
Well, yeah, I'm all right, but Hazel unfortunately had a stroke, and it's going to be a long job.
Right.
And we're paddling along. But
I heard she had a fall as well. I heard that.
Yes, she did. She did, and that's. I'm doing all the work, you know.
Well, yeah, it's always been your job, and you've never done any, so it's about time, George.
Now listen, you should be supporting me. Good heavens, man. Alan.
Yes, ma'am.
What has been your scariest moment?
If I'm on, and I know everybody would expect a ghostly reply to this, and there isn't one. There was one occasion where I had, this is a personal thing rather than anything else, I had a threat to one of the older members of my family made by people who were genuinely unpleasant people who lived near where they lived, and they didn't like me and threatened, well, my parents, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on air one night and I got a message saying, we're going round in 10 minutes, and I rang them and warned them, and my dad being my dad, don't worry about us, we'll be, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that was my greatest terror, and I went there straight after the show, and it was just a threat that wasn't carried out. But you feel helpless when you're miles away and something like that's going down.
Yeah, and you can't do
anything about it. And that would have been unpleasantness because of me, if you know what I mean. I know it was idiots and all of that, but it still would have been down to me bringing that misery to them. And that was probably my greatest fear, and that was live during the show.
Well, that's taken care of. That. What do you think has been the weirdest call you've ever had?
Weirdest? Oh, blame me. Hey, now you're asking. About every fourth one, frankly. I've had a lot of weird. I had the one guy who was ringing me from the first row up of the Tyne Bridge in readiness to take his life, and I was the only person that could talk him down. That was fairly weird, because where we were, the old building was just at the end of the Tyne Bridge, so I literally walked down and had a chat with him and managed to get him to come down. That was fairly weird. Weirder than that, I've had people who believed in voodoo leave me a chicken's head and then ring up to curse me. And they nailed a chicken head to the door of the studio, not the studio, the radio station. Yeah. I've had people ringing me saying that they hated me so much they were going to send. There was apparently in their pub, there was a cubicle that had a habit of, if you pooed in it a lot, when you flushed it, it would go down, but then come back up and come over the top. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yes, I do.
And they named this toilet. Don't go. Have you been in the sicko? They used to go to the sicko, and people had written horrible things on the door, insulting, nasty things, and they took the door off because they didn't like me and sent me the door, which I thought was hilarious, but they meant it in a vindictive, nasty kind of way. But I thought it was really funny.
Well, yes.
Because then everybody had to go to the sicko with no door, and that kind of serves them right. But Oh, blimey, there's 1,000. Honestly, there's 1,000 calls. People that they start being really serious, and by the end of it, it's like lunatic soup. No, I wouldn't have it any other way. You get the good, the bad, the ugly, and the downright hilarious. And I love all of that. I've loved every minute of it.
Well, I was thinking before I came on your program. I was thinking, now what can I give Alan a name for all the years he's been on the program?
Well, you already have. I'm a person.
Well, yes, you're a real person. But I've decided I think I shall call you Robin Hood.
Robin Hood?
Yes, Robin Hood.
You've never seen me in tights, George?
Well, I mean, I can just imagine you like Errol Flynn, you know?
I can imagine me like that. The truth is rather more scary, but yes, I can see myself swinging onto that rock like he did in The Adventures of. Yeah, very much so, definitely.
And do you still have that huge mechanical beast of yours? The car?
Yes. Yes, is the answer.
I'm surprised you can still afford to run it.
Well, I just don't go very far now because I'm only on one night a week, so that's probably the reason. I can't believe how much it costs to buy a tank of petrol, Bain. I mean, it's round about £100 to fill your tank, and you think, how can anybody manage to run vehicles with that unless they're extremely wealthy, because that's a shocker, isn't it?
Oh, it is, and it'll just get worse, I think.
And obviously, taxi drivers must have to put all their prices up in respect to that. Scary.
Yeah. One of the things that's happened with Hazel since the stroke, she can't drive anymore.
Oh, blimey.
And
keeps you both trapped in.
Well, it was her own decision, actually.
Right.
Because she decided she knew her reflexes were shot and timing was way off.
Right.
And she decided herself that it was enough is enough. It'll never change.
Right.
And one of the sad things is, since the stroke, she was always good on computers. She had lots of... She'd taken different courses and got diplomas and whatever.
Yeah.
And it's all gone.
Hey, it may come back, though, you know. With strokes, you'd be surprised what can come back.
Well, I mean, believe it or not, and this may amuse you, I can't use a computer now because I've got 2 frozen fingers, and of course I can't feel the keyboard.
Lucky keyboard. Oh, but 2. So you've got 2 frozen fingers. Are they?
Yeah,
Are they
no
in the
sensation.
Churchillian position?
No, unfortunately, I wish there were. I've got one on each hand.
Oh, right. Oh, there you go.
And of course, being a touch typist, it's had it so. I'm saving frantically to get an all audio computer.
Right. Oh, that would be brilliant.
And I mean, and the current car we've got, it has a computer that listens to everything you say, even when the audio's switched off, whatever. Right. I'll give you a quick example. A friend was out with me one day, and I said, when we get back to the village, I want to go to the chemist. I've got a prescription to collect. And the voice of the computer said, there is a pharmacy 1.2 miles further on this road on the left-hand side.
Brilliant.
And I thought, that is scary. It's listening all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it often chips in, is there anything I can do for you? And Brenda generally says, yeah, shut up.
Yeah.
And it just says, oh.
Oh, you should test it. You should say, bring me a white chocolate Magnum. See if it'll do that. Are you on a hot day?
It would tell me where I could get one, that's for sure.
If only you could get there.
But it's strange, you know, and you wonder, is it storing up everything that it hears?
It must be, I suppose. Then it'll tell the story of your life, George.
Oh, God help us all. I mean, I'll be sued by the software. But where will I be able to find you in the future?
Well, that's a question, because as it stands, we're going to be podcasting. Now, the podcasts will be audio, so you'll be obviously able to listen to them.
Yeah.
They're wherever you get podcasts. Spotify, Apple, Google. So if you've got a computer...
I've got Google.
Google will do it. Just type in Alan Robson podcast or Night Owls podcast and it'll be there. Other than that, we will be trying to come back in some form as a talk show. So just, if you keep listening to the podcasts, we will use them also to signpost where people can get us whenever we set up. We're doing ghost hunts, but they're visual things on a Friday, so they have no use to you.
No.
Right.
No.
And if you want to listen to stuff that we've done in the past, including stuff we've done with you, funnily enough, it's on a website that you can also Google called Robson's World. There's a whole load of stuff.
All right.
So there you go. There's a ton of stuff for you to download on there as well that you can listen to. Okay.
I've with you mentioning ghosts, I would, if there was a visual ghost about prancing up and down in front of me, it would go absolutely demented because I wouldn't even know it was there.
Well, the only sign you would get is if any of your fingers start to freeze.
Well, I told you I've got two.
There you go. It's already happening, George.
Yeah, well, I mean, there it is. There it is. But I think Night Owls, all the years it's been going, been absolutely brilliant, and thousands of people have got a hell of a lot of enjoyment, entertainment, and there's been sad moments as well.
For sure.
But I think it covers the whole gamut of broadcasting. And I mean, how many years is it now?
It's about 46, 47.
Well, that makes you an old dodger, doesn't it?
Well, I could have been born on a leap year.
Well,
no, it means I'm. What's the right word? Because you can't say that. You can say cherished. Yeah, cherished. Well-worn. A well-worn presenter. That's probably where I'm at.
Like an old boot, you mean?
Thanks, George. I'll take it. I'll take it.
A well-worn boot.
It's a stylish boot, though. It's got a
yes.
It's got a Cuban heel. There you go. Happy days.
Oh, well, yes. There it is.
Hey,
but it's been brilliant all the years, and hopefully something will be done because I'm sure that there's lots and lots of people would like you back in the old way.
No, I fancy being back in the old way as well. Thank you, George.
You take care, Alan. All the best to you and the team.
Thank you. Love to Hazel as well. Thanks, George.
Yeah. Cheers, mate.
Bye-bye. Oh, we love George. We always love George. Now, if you love your ghosts and all things spooky, we do a live ghost hunt every week on Facebook and YouTube. You can watch what happens every Sunday night from 9 p.m. It's free, but if you become a supporter, then you get at least an hour extra every week. You also get a thing that we call the blah, which is sort of a debrief every week that only supporters can see. And, of course, you can ring in and talk to us. We would love to hear from you. If that's not enough, you'll also get to watch us film it live every Wednesday night if you're on Facebook, and the rough, unedited version by the Friday if you're on YouTube. All this extra for the price of a drink every month, not even every week. Search for Night Owls UK on either Facebook or YouTube. There's over a year's worth waiting for you right now. And you get all the extra bits. And in the extra bits, People send in their pictures that they've screenshotted of all kinds of stuff. We've had full-bodied apparitions, and all of that's waiting for you. Come and join us, become a supporter, and help us along the road. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Make sure you subscribe. It's really important. And then you'll be notified when the next episode's available. Don't want you to miss out.